Okay guys, it's time for the final part. So so we're going to start by going to the assembly, and if you have your parts open, you should be able to just click them in more or less. You'll see here shortly. If you close out your parts, you're just going to have to go find your part files to be able to paste them in. But since I have them open, I'm going to be able to pull them in. If you're putting multiple parts, I suggest clicking this arrow or this thumbtack. It'll let you keep pasting things, so I have to go back to the insert. So I'm going to start with the pocket. And this will basically make this part fixed. Whatever part you choose first is fixed, so you can't move it. You can change that by right-clicking, turning it into a float, like so. You can float. Basically, this is what a float would do, or it's just a fixed object you can't move. I'm also going to insert the CO2 canister in. This way we can see how well it fits. So I'll just start with the CO2 canister. These should have the same. The OD of this should match the ID of this, so you can simply click mate. This allows you to basically attach objects, and there's all these different types of mates. Since I want the walls of this touching the walls of this, I'm going to start by clicking here and here. And now you see that these fit. You could do clearance verification on here. This isn't really necessary, but if you wanted to, this tells you they're coincident and not overlapping. Or if you want to, do interference detection as well, and it should probably also say coincident or no interference. So that's good to go. I'm just going to shove that inside for now. We'll come back to it later. Now we want to insert the nose cone. So basically we want this face to touch this face, and we also want to be concentric. So to do that in one step instead of two, because most people will probably select here, and then it'll still be able to move about that plane. You can kind of knock this out in one step by just selecting here and selecting here. The only thing that's really not constrained is that this can rotate in place, but that doesn't affect your model in any way. And if you wanted to fix that, you could just open up the internal planes on your objects and make them together so they won't rotate, but that's not really necessary for this. So now we want to check the CO2 canister, see how it fits inside. So if we right click on this piece, you can go to the transparency option, which allows you to see inside. If you want to hide an object, it's the button right next to it, and you can get it back just by simply right clicking over here and showing it. So what we want to do is see how well the CO2 cartridge fits in here. So I'm going to start by going to move component and going to collision detection, these components, and select your parts, and go to resume drag. Make sure to stop on collisions checked, and you'll see it stops right there. So if we were to do this, it keeps going. I didn't select that part, but we can see this stops right here. On my preliminary designs, I had it set so this kind of inserted into the hole a little bit of ways. It's not super important, but it is a bit better because we know that when the nail that goes inside of here to puncture this, when it goes inside, that'll actually hit the CO2 canister because this can't wobble as much. Basically, it's more stable. But this is just more of a design thing. You can see it's just a small distance, so I think I can fix it right now, actually. But more or less is how we'll be sitting in there.